Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
So I did. It's for sale in my Etsy store. I'll leave a link below if you're interested in the 1,000,000% t-shirt.
If they find that she just was dishonest and lied on one single point of evidence, in this case, in her testimony, the jury instruction says that they are allowed to discount her entire testimony. It seems insurmountable. It seems like this case cannot be settled. Her testimony won't even count. And that is that's a harsh reality, because if the jury chooses not to listen to anything she has to say, she's the best witness in this case. So her testimony is super important in this case. And if you can show the jury that she's lied, juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
Ever wonder if a Hollywood Golden Girl could fall so hard there's no climbing back? Blake Lively's tangled mess of a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni might just be that moment. It's got everything: accusations, leaked videos, and whispers of million-dollar bribes that even a judge couldn't ignore. This isn't just a courtroom fight, it's a full-on Hollywood implosion. And the truth is wilder than any script she's ever read. Stick around, because this story's about to unravel in ways you won't believe.
Trials are about the truth, and juries want the truth. And if you lie to them, they will hold it against you.
And that's why you think, like you mentioned before, that you think this video is the most damning evidence that Baldoni has so far.
I think so. And it's not, it's better than work. Number two, the SH has nothing to do with taking over the movie, even though she doesn't deny that she took over the movie. Of course, it'd be probably impossible to do that.
Let's rewind to late 2024. Blake Lively, the Gossip Girl darling turned A-lister, dropped a bombshell lawsuit against her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni. She claimed he sexually harassed her on set, made her life a nightmare, and then hired a PR hit squad to smear her name when she spoke up. It was a classic victim narrative: tears, trauma, and a plea for justice. The media ate it up, painting her as the brave star taking on a predator. For a minute, it looked like Baldoni's career was toast. But something about her story felt too polished, too perfect, and what happened next would flip the whole thing upside down.
Okay, so I was able to read the amended complaint, which, by the way, it's very abnormal. It's almost 180 pages, 400 and some odd paragraphs. Complaints are not normally that long, but this one has to be for public consumption. So it kind of makes them look like they're trying to take that video, now that it's out, and kind of spin it in a different direction.
Blake Lively had changed some stuff up in her amended complaint. Now she is describing that dancing scene very differently than she did in her first complaint.
Baldoni didn't just roll over. He came back swinging with a $400 million countersuit in January 2025. He called her claims a total fabrication, saying she invented this drama to fix her own bad press after hijacking the movie's promotion. His team dropped a bombshell of their own, a leaked video from the set that Lively swore was her proof of distress. This wasn't some shaky phone clip. It was raw, unedited footage that turned her accusations into a punchline. And that's where this train really started derailing.
Blake Lively made, and she lied in their minds about what occurred during that dancing scene, because she wasn't aware that there was audio that would maybe explain and give some context to what was happening there. So of course she changes her in her amended complaint. She changes the view of it a little bit.
Really, what they did is they said, well, yes, all of that happened, but when Baldoni was in that scene dancing, he wasn't in character, and she was being forced to act as though she loved him, which is, in my mind, just acting. And so rather than saying that these horrible things happened, now they're saying, well, no, yeah, but she didn't want that. And he wasn't really in character, and it wasn't within the context of what it should have been. So they're trying to skew it kind of a different way.
Here's the kicker. That video didn't show a scared, harassed Blake Lively. It showed her smiling, dancing, and looking perfectly fine during a scene she'd claimed was unbearable. Legal experts pounced, saying it blew her story wide open. So what did she do? Her team scrambled, filing a 180-page amended complaint, way longer than any normal lawsuit, trying to spin it a new way. Suddenly, it wasn't about her being forced into something awful. Now she said Baldoni wasn't in character, and she had to fake liking him. Wait, isn't that just acting? Analysts couldn't hold back their laughter. This wasn't a legal filing, it was a desperate rewrite of a bad script. But that wasn't the whole story.
Number 4, the smear campaign designed by Baldoni's team was intended to derail the SH claims that Lively brought later in time, which seems a little odd to me. Her bad press came in early August, and yet the complaint to the CRD didn't happen until December 20th.
That's Blake Lively's PR firm begging to be let go of the case. I think actually they may have the worst messages of all.
If they find that she just was dishonest and lied on one single point of evidence in this case, in her testimony, the jury instruction says that they are allowed to discount her entire testimony.
Things got darker when Lively's lawyers pushed for an attorney's eyes-only order, meaning only the legal teams, not even Baldoni or Blake herself, could see certain evidence. Why? Rumors started flying that they were hiding something massive. Someone close to the case let slip there were 100 million reasons for the secrecy, a phrase that screams bribery louder than a neon sign. Judge Lyman, who's clearly fed up, shut it down hard. He called this mess a war between PR firms and reminded everyone courts aren't Hollywood playgrounds. You don't get to bury the truth because you're famous. But that rejection only fueled the fire of what was really going on behind the scenes.
Because jurors are very bright, especially collectively. When they're all together, they all come from varied backgrounds. They're the smartest people in the room collectively, and they generally get the right result. And you better hope that these HR complaints are genuine and credible. There's some credibility to them, because if we do learn that these were brought about by Blake Lively and her team, it's just going to compound already all the other bad facts that they're dealing with.
I think they probably won't listen to any experts or advisors or lawyers at this point. It doesn't sound like this because they make so many mistakes and bad decisions.
Enter the power couple angle. Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband and a Hollywood heavyweight, started popping up in the shadows of this saga. Whispers grew that he was pulling strings, maybe even leaning on their A-list network to sway things. Then there's the Taylor Swift twist. Baldoni's team subpoenaed her messages, hinting she was tied to script talks that could expose more. Why would her texts matter unless they held secrets that could unravel this whole circus? It's starting to look less like a lawsuit and more like a desperate bid to shield Hollywood's elite from something bigger. And what happened next would make it even messier.
And it's only to try to take back the narrative that Baldoni's team has done a very good job of. And perhaps the reason they've done such a good job on the Baldoni's team is because they have more truth on their side than perhaps Blake Lively does.
Or you could get into it and just get completely obliterated, because lawsuits are not pleasant. But it sounds like you have grounds to file a lawsuit. It really is an impactful and powerful piece of evidence that's going to go against Lively, and that's why her deposition is not going to be pretty.
Lively's team tried to rally support with 2 mystery actresses who claimed Baldoni made them uncomfortable too. Sounds juicy, right? Except they didn't name them in the lawsuit, just leaked their existence to The Hollywood Reporter. Legal pros called it a blatant PR stunt. If these women were real and their stories held weight, why keep them anonymous? Even major outlets refused to run related HR complaints against Baldoni, saying they looked fake and flimsy. The press, usually eager to crucify a guy like him, smelled the setup a mile away. But Lively's camp wasn't done digging their hole.
There were 2 new women who were willing to testify against Baldoni that they have been allegedly felt uncomfortable on set, but they didn't name them. But now it's already kind of leaked who they are.
And so it's not just a lawsuit, it's a PR campaign. The fact that they didn't include the names, in my mind, when I was reading it, made it felt like it wasn't real or it wasn't very credible.
Leaked HR complaints that was circulated around last week, and a lot of people commented on them. They were not picked up by the press because they looked quite suspicious.
Here's where it gets downright absurd. They accused Baldoni of toxic positivity. Yes, you heard that right. Ex-employees told the LA Times he was too nice, signing emails with so much love and filming himself helping the homeless. They called it fake, performative, a crime against workplace vibes. Candace Owens torched it, asking if we're now suing people for being too happy. At this point, Lively's case isn't just falling apart, it's turning into a parody. Her team's thrown every accusation they could muster, from predator to power-tripping director to overly cheerful boss, and none of it's sticking. Public opinion's swinging hard toward Baldoni, and she's running out of moves.
This is insane. What are you talking about? She genuinely is not aware of how insane she sounds.
Right now, both sides are under strict orders to kill each other. And that's what's happening. Both sides are trying to kill each other. And right now, Baldoni's team is winning, hands down. Public opinion is completely behind him.
While Team Blake Lively may think they have the upper hand, sources say she has no idea what's coming regarding her battle with Justin Baldoni.
Here's where it gets downright absurd. They accused Baldoni of toxic positivity. Yes, you heard that right. Ex-employees told the LA Times he was too nice, signing emails with so much love and filming himself helping the homeless. They called it fake, performative, a crime against workplace vibes. Candace Owens torched it, asking if we're now suing people for being too happy. At this point, Lively's case isn't just falling apart, it's turning into a parody. Her team's thrown every accusation they could muster, from predator to power-tripping director to overly cheerful boss, and none of it's sticking. Public opinion's swinging hard toward Baldoni, and she's running out of moves.